Hi, I'm Devin. Thank you for joining me today. Let's get started with today's practice. Take a step to the top of your mat with your feet under your hips and roll your shoulders back and away from your ears. Take a couple nice deep breaths here, tuning into how your body feels today. Gently lower your chin to your chest, lengthen the muscles along the back of the neck. And then ease your left ear towards your left shoulder. Bring your chin back down to the chest in the center. And now bring the right ear to the right shoulder. Once more each direction. And then bring your chin to the center of your chest. Interlace your fingers. Reach your knuckles away from your body, rounding the spine. Draw your ears between your biceps. And then release the hands. Bring the hands to the back of the body, interlacing the fingers one more time. Open up through the chest. Lift the face towards the sky. Roll the shoulders back and away from the ears. Standing tall. Opening the muscles along the front of the body. And release. Bring your arms back down to your sides. Let's move with our breath. Inhaling. Exhaling. Palms to the center of our chest. Inhale, lift the arms up, gently arch back. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips all the way down to the mat. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up. Curl the right toes, retaining the breath as we step the left leg back to plank. Exhale, lowering the knees, chest and forehead to the mat. Inhale, slide forward, press through the palms as you lift the chest, look up. Curl the toes and exhale, hips all the way up and back into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg forward. Lower the left knee and flatten the top of the foot to the mat. Exhale, left foot steps forward and look at your knees. Inhale, arms up. Gently arch back. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms up. Open the chest as we arch back. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips all the way down to the mat. Inhale, left leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up. Curl the toes, retaining the breath, step the right leg back to plank. Draw the abs in. Exhale, lower knees, chest and forehead. Inhale, slide forward, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, curl the toes, lift up through the hips, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down, foot flat. And exhale, right leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, gently arch back. Exhale, release. One more set. Inhale. Exhale, palms. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up, dropping the hips down and forward. Curl the right toes, retain the breath, left leg back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest and forehead to the mat. Inhale, slide forward, lift the chest, look up. Curl the toes, exhale, hips up and back to downward dog. Inhale, right leg forward, left knee down, foot flat. Exhale, left leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, slightly arch back. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms up, arching back. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips to the mat. Inhale, left leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up. Curl the toes, retain the breath, right leg back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest and forehead to the mat. Inhale, slide forward, lift through the chest, look up. And curl the toes, exhaling, hips up and back, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down, foot flat. And exhale, right leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, slightly arch back. Exhale, release, arms by the side, roll the shoulders back and away from the ears. Take a nice deep breath. Next, we're going to work on our balance. So from our mountain pose, standing nice and tall with our shoulders rolled back, we're going to shift the weight into our left foot. Our left knee is soft, meaning there's a slight bend in the knee joint. Draw the abdominals in for some extra support and bring your hands to your hips. We'll start off by peeling the right foot off of the mat, little by little. It's helpful when we're working with balance postures to find a point to focus on. So just a corner of a picture frame, a mirror, the edge of your TV, whatever you've got available in front of you. As we peel that foot off the mat, we're going to bring it on top of the left foot. Or, if that's feeling comfortable today, we can challenge our body a little bit more by skipping over the ankle joint and bringing the foot to the left calf. Again, if you feel comfortable here, you can bring the right foot all the way up to the left inner thigh. You can use the assistance of your hand at any point. Now, it's important to remember that we don't want to put any sideways pressure on the left knee joint or the left ankle. That's why we skip over those areas on the left leg. Once you're steady, wherever that right leg is landing, we're going to roll the shoulders back again. They have a tendency of creeping up towards our ears. And we're going to bring our hands to our heart. So as we hold this posture, we're continuing to breathe, and we're continuing to lengthen and lift up and out of the left leg and foot. Sometimes we have a tendency of sinking down into that hip, but instead find a nice tall stance where your hip is still stacked over the ankle. Take a couple moments here. If you need to lower the right leg at any time to regain your balance, go right ahead and join us when you're ready. All right, let's gently release with control. Hands to the hips. And gently lower the right foot all the way back down to the mat next to our left foot. Take a breath. Maybe you want to shake out the legs. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So root down through the right foot now. Knee is soft, shoulders are back. We're standing nice and tall. Our abs are engaged, and we're starting with our hands on our hips. Peel the left foot up. And again, give it a try by stacking it on top of the right foot, bringing it to the inner calf, or skipping over the knee and bringing it to the right inner thigh. One side may feel different than the other, but remember, soft knee, lifting tall, up and out of the right hip. Hands to the heart, breathing deeply. Good. Let's release. Hands back down to our sides or our hips, and with control, lower the left leg down. Good. Let's step to the top of our mat now for some of our standing postures. So, with both feet under the hips, roll the shoulders back. We'll start with our right leg and step back about a stride for triangle pose. Glance down at your feet. Make sure your left heel points towards your right arch. Now, if your feet aren't spread out enough, we're not going to get the stretch to the inner thigh. So a stride and then a little bit more, okay? Arms are extended at shoulder height. Let's inhale. As we exhale, reach your left arm as far towards the top of your mat as you can. So really lengthen through the torso and reach, reach, reach until you can't reach any further through the fingertips. Then we're hinging sideways directly over the left leg. So your chest is stacked directly over the thigh. And we're going to just keep our palms open towards the right side of the room and bring the back of the left hand to the inside of the left leg. Okay, so here we'll feel a stretch through the right side of the torso, the left inner thigh, and it's important to keep a nice long, long body. So long through the arms, long through the spine, long through the legs. Breathe deeply here. take one more breath. And as we exhale, come all the way back up, keeping the arms extended. Bring your shoulders back over your hips and keep your left foot exactly where it is, but we're going to walk our right foot back another 6 to 8 inches or so for warrior two. Palms are now facing the floor. Inhale. Exhale, bending the left knee. Bring it over the ankle into our warrior two lunge. So our left knee is open. The knee itself is pointing towards the second or third toe. Our arms are directly over the legs and our shoulders are directly over our hips. Turn your head and look just past your left fingers. From here, we'll continue into extended side angle. So our lower body remains in the same position it's in now, but our upper body is going to come hinging sideways over the left leg. So we've got a couple options here. Depending on our flexibility, if you're new to extended side angle pose, you can start by bending the left elbow and bringing the left forearm to the left thigh. Okay? Or if you're a little bit more familiar with this stretch, or you've got greater flexibility through the chest and shoulders, we can bring our left hand all the way down to the floor and place it next to the left arch. Now you may have noticed I started walking my right foot back. So I've got a little bit more flexibility through that left inner thigh, and it feels a little bit more comfortable for me to sink down into that left hip when I open up the right leg. Because the important part here, again, is that we have our knee stacked over the ankle. If our feet are too close together, that left knee is going to get ahead of the toes. Regardless of the position of the left hand, our right arm is sweeping forward. We're bringing the right bicep next to the ear, and we're looking up at the right palm. So you may be here with your left hand on the mat or on a block, or you may be here with your left forearm on the left thigh. Regardless, the right arm is in the same position, creating that nice long line down the right side of the body. Let's take one more breath. And as we exhale, press into the left foot, straighten out that leg, bring your torso all the way up. Let your arms float down to your sides. Good. And rotate the left foot towards the right edge of your mat. Okay, so both feet are parallel. Bring the hands to the hips, inhale. And exhale, hinge forward. When you're halfway there, bring your hands down to the mat or to a block and use them for support as you continue to fold forward, reaching the crown of the head towards the floor. Now you should feel stretchier through the inner thighs, through the back, through the hamstrings. Again, depending on your own flexibility, how you're feeling today, adjust the feet. Walking them wider will make it more intense. Walking them a little bit closer together will make it a little bit easier. Okay? So it's totally up to you. This is your practice. Let's lift up slightly through the head and chest, so we're looking towards the floor, and begin to walk your hands and fingers towards your right ankle or toes, finding a stretch through the outside or the left side of the torso. Begin to walk the hands back towards the center, and then walk them all the way over to the left side. Good. Bring the hands back to the center. Use them for support. And begin to walk the toes and heels together until your feet are under your hips. And then round up, stacking the back. Bringing the shoulders over the hips. Lifting the chin off the chest, coming back into mountain pose. Good. Let's come back to the top of our mat and repeat on the opposite side. Mountain pose, shoulders back and relaxed away from the ears. Left foot this time will step back about a stride for triangle pose. Check our stance. The right heel points towards the left arch. Arms are extended at shoulder height as we inhale. And as we exhale, we reach the right fingertips towards the top of our mat as far as we can When we can't reach any further, we hinge sideways directly over the right leg. Bring the back of the right hand just inside the right leg, maybe the foot if you've got the flexibility for it, but we're stacking our torso, our shoulders directly above the right thigh and leg. Create that nice long line down the length of our arms and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Breathing deeply. Let's inhale. And as we exhale, press through the feet to stabilize and lift the torso and arms all the way back up, bringing the shoulders back over our hips. Now, let's step that left leg back, opening up our stance for warrior two. Flip the hands so the palms are facing down. Inhale. And exhale, bend the right knee. Bring the knee over the right ankle. Kneecap is pointing towards the second or third toe, and we're turning our head looking just past our fingers. Shoulders remain stacked over the hips. Building strength through the legs, through the shoulders as we draw them back and together. Breathe deeply. One more inhale. And exhale to extended side angle. So remember, we can bring our forearm to thigh or hand all the way down to the mat. The left arm is sweeping forward, bicep next to the ear. Look up towards the left palm. Find that long line down the left side of the body. One more deep inhale. As we exhale, press into the right foot, straighten out that leg, come all the way up. Let your arms float down to your sides and step the left foot forward, bring it next to the right. Back to mountain pose, shoulders back, away from our ears. Inhale, both arms all the way up. And exhale, hinging at the hips, fold forward. Keep the biceps next to your ears until you can't fold forward any further. Then we're dropping our hands to the floor. Maybe they're not quite touching that today, that's okay. But our upper body relaxes and folds forward over the thighs. So the more we practice this one, the easier it becomes. And the longer we hold it, the more we can relax our body and sink a little bit deeper into the posture itself. So don't forget to breathe here. Bringing your awareness to the muscles of the upper body as well, specifically the jaw and the neck. We tend to hold tension here, as well as the shoulders. So sometimes it helps to just gently shake the head, very gently, left and right, up and down, really letting your body just relax a little bit more. Bring your hands around to the back of your ankles, calves, or thighs. Pull the chest in closer. Reach the crown of the head a little bit further down towards your toes, intensifying that stretch. Breathing deeply. And release. Let's bring our hands down to the mat, fingertips in line with the toes. Bend your knees if you need to. And we're going to step both feet back and come into plank. So in plank, we have our fingers spread wide, our palms are under our shoulders with a straight line running down the back of the body, and we're drawing our abs in towards the spine. So just because we're drawing the abs in doesn't mean our hips pop up. We want to keep them down and in line. So this should be a challenge. We're working all the muscles of, almost all the muscles of the body. So draw those abs in, our shoulders are working to support us, our abs are keeping our balance, our legs are engaged, we're pressing back through the heels. Let's take one more breath. And as we exhale, we're going to come into chaturanga. So bend the elbows 90 degrees. Keep the back flat. Keep the eyes looking just out ahead of you. Good. And let's come all the way down to the mat. Flatten the tops of the feet. Stack one hand on top of the other. And rest your cheek on top. Take a couple nice deep breaths. Letting the body relax. Good. So like me, you may have come off the top of your mat a little bit here. So feel free to adjust and just move your body back. But again, keep the tops of the feet on the floor. We're going to draw the toes and heels together now. And from our stacked hand position, we're going to slide the hands so they're under our shoulders. Elbows are bent and we're drawing them back alongside the rib cage. So we're preparing for Cobra Pose here. Cobra Pose works the lower back muscles, but we're keeping the legs glued to the mat for now, and we're inching our hands up off the floor so we can isolate the muscles of the lower back. So as we breathe, I'd like you to take a nice deep inhale and imagine a string is connected to the crown of your head, one that lifts your face, neck, and chest up, 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 a little bit at a time towards the sky. So by lifting up through the crown of the head, we're really elongating the spine. We're keeping our shoulders back and away from our ears, and we're turning on all the muscles of the lower back. Feet remain glued to the floor. Let's take one more breath, and then gently roll back down. You can stack your hands on top of one another. Rest the opposite cheek on top. Let the heels fall away from one another, and relax the legs and lower body. All right, let's try that again. This time, using the hands, coming into this traditional posture. Draw the heels together, slide the hands out. Fingers are spread wide and palms are centered under the shoulders. Elbows are bent, tucked in next to the rib cage. As we inhale, lift up through the crown of the head. And when we can't lift any further through the muscles of the lower back, then we begin to press into the center of the palm and come up just a little bit higher, okay? So in Cobra Pose, we still have our elbows bent. We have them tucked in next to our side. We're elongating and lifting the chin up, looking at that space where the wall meets the ceiling. Keep breathing. And then gently, with the same control, use the triceps to lower the chest. Then let the muscles of the back take over as you continue to lower down. Stack your hands, rest your cheek on top. Let the heels roll away from one another. Take a nice deep breath. Good. So let's slide our hands apart now, bring them under our shoulders. Press our hips up and back and come into child's pose. So we're letting our lower body relax on our heels. Our arms are extended for the time being, and our forehead is coming all the way down to the floor. If your forehead doesn't comfortably touch, you can always stack one fist on top of the other and rest your head on top. But because we're just arching the back, now we're rounding the spine, a nice counter movement from the previous one. Lift the head up, walk the hands forward, and let's come into downward facing dog. So lift up through the tailbone. Take a couple breaths here, pedaling the heels, shifting the weight from one foot to the other. And on your next inhale, step the right foot forward, come into our low lunge, hips are down and forward. Reach away through the left heel. Gently lower the left knee, flatten the top of the foot, and we're going to walk our right foot towards the right edge of our mat, okay? So move it a couple inches to the right, and then take your right hand and bring it between the left hand and the right foot. From here, we're going to rotate the right toes about 45 degrees towards the corner of the room. And think about opening up the leg or the hip like you would open a book, so it all moves together. We're just going to open from the right hip and roll onto that right toe and the outside edge of the foot. Take a breath. If If you'd like to intensify this a little bit more, bend the elbows, lowering the chest, maybe bringing a forearm or both forearms to the mat. Good, let's straighten out the arms. Lower the right foot to the floor and walk that right foot back in, bringing the right hand back to the outside of the right foot. Curl the left toes, lift the knees, step the right leg back, downward dog. Feel the difference between your right and left hips here. Pedaling the heels a couple times before we switch sides. So now take the left foot and step forward into our low lunge, holding, breathing deeply, pressing the right heel back towards the wall behind us. So be sure to keep that knee straight and lifted off the floor. And now let's gently lower the right knee down, flatten the top of the foot, and walk the left foot wide towards the left edge of our mat. Picking up the left hand and placing it under the left shoulder. So we have our left hand between the left foot and the right hand. From here, turn the left toes out now about 45 degrees. So think about making that turn or that rotation from the hip joint itself. Okay, the knee and the toes are still pointing the same direction. Now open up from the hip, so roll onto the outside edge of the left foot. And this side may feel different, so we always want to move slowly and move with control. If you're feeling up for it, a little intensity, we can bend the elbows, lower the chest down towards the floor. Maybe work on getting one or both forearms to the mat. If you've got a block handy, you can always place your forearms on the block as well. So keep breathing here. If it's ever too intense, ease out of the posture, okay? Good, so let's begin to straighten the arms. Bring the left foot back to the mat. Walk it in towards the midline, and then bring the left hand back to the outside edge. Curl the right toes, step the left leg back, downward dog. Pedaling our heels. And now lower the knees down to the mat. And we're going to swing the legs around. With control, roll the upper body all the way back. And we're just going to keep the inner thighs connected and lower both knees down to the right. Back through center and over to the left. So you can move your hands out of the way. And we're just moving gently, move at a pace that feels comfortable for you. Good. Bring both knees in towards the chest. And again, rock from side to side. Give yourself a little massage, the lower back, kidneys. Excellent. Let's lower our legs down for final relaxation. Walk the heels about mat width apart. Relax your arms halfway between your hips and your shoulders. Let your head relax at the center. Take a couple nice deep breaths. Bring your awareness all the way down your body. Letting go of any tension, any muscles that are still contracted, let them relax. If your mind begins to wander, bring it back to the moment by focusing on each inhale and exhale, noticing the rise and fall of your chest. And then reach your arms overhead. Bring the heels together, elongate the body, awakening it. And then bend the knees, roll onto the right side. Place the left hand on the floor in front of your chest. And press into the left hand. Let's come back up to a seated position, crossing the ankles, rolling the shoulders back and away from our ears. Bring the hands to the center of the chest. Namaste. Thanks for practicing with me today.